Hi, it's me, Nicole Lee. Today I'm going to talk about PHP loops. So I'll be covering while loops, do while loops, and for loops. Let's get started. I'm using Sublime, a task editor. You can basically use Dreamweaver editor or Brackets, Atom, Eclipse, or whatever editors you have. So as usual, I will start with a simple HTML structure with the dot type, with the HTML open, closing, the head section, and the body. As for this title of this web page, we will be doing PHP loops. So let's get started with the PHP block under the body. So I will start with heading. So that this heading, I'm going to give it a title called while loop. And I'm going to start my PHP block and ending PHP block here. So I'm going to space out, and I'm going to do a while loop. So a while loop is a looping statement when a condition is met. So why we do use loop is because most of the time we want to run a certain block of codes repeatedly until a condition is met. So one of the loop is a while loop. Let's get started. I will just type while, and in a bracket is the condition of it, and open curly bracket and close bracket. Alright, I'm going to space out, so the closing bracket will be here, so in between I can put the statement. So but I want to put a condition under the bracket. So while a certain variable is met, so before the while here I would like to add on a variable. So a variable start with a $sign, and for example, give you a practical example. For example, you need to eat 5 meals per day, then only you will feel very full. So we want to keep track of the meal. So I will just say this variable is number of a meals. All right. So we always start with the first meal. So I will give a number is 1. So when you first eat the meal, then I will put a condition, condition meal that is less than or equals to 5, because you need to eat 5 meals per day, then only you will feel full. So the whatever that's happened in between here, you must make sure you look 5 times, means that you have 5 meals, then only it will stop doing the action, it will be terminated. So I need to save it first, save it as loops.php under my htdoc and my first PHP folder. I'm going to call it loops.php and use PHP. So while this number of meals is less than 5, so what will happen? I will echo double quotation, and don't forget a semicolon. So in between here, I will say I have only eaten a space here. I'm going to concatenate with a dot, and followed by the variable. This meal, I have only eaten this meal, and concat another message, another line. I have only eaten how many meals, and I am still hungry. Okay, we have to make sure this variable is the same MEALS. So here is MEALS and here is MEALS. Alright, so you have a conditional statement here, a starting statement, condition, and also what is lacking now is an incremental statement. So after this, I would like to basically add on a line break for each line. So with semicolon, each line I will add a line break. And so every time for each loop, the incremental statements, I will say we start with the variables and plus and semicolon. Means that every time when it loops, right, this number of meals will add 1. Plus means plus 1. So this is good to run it. I will just save it, and I will just go to my localhost, the folder that it resides, and the name of the document loops.php. I will just enter that it will show the heading 1 while loop, and it start with the number of meals started is 1 meal. So I have only eaten 1 meal and I'm still hungry. So the first time you run is 1 meal, the second time you run it will become 2 meals, and each time it loops it will add 1 until 5 meals and 5 sentences is printed. It will stop. So let's go back to our code. So the while loops, you have 3 conditions. First, we have started with a number, so initialize number, and the second condition is when should I stop, after how many times. Okay, what is the conditioned statement? And the last one is the third condition, which is every time how much should I increase. Every time I increase 1, which is plus. Secondly, the second loop will be the do while loop, which perform similar functions. So that is very easy. What I would do is I will just copy this block, and I'm going to do a horizontal line to split them out, and I will just paste it. This round I will do a do while loop. A do while loop is just a little bit different. Just replace this part while cut and replace it with do, and the while loop you have to paste it after the curly bracket here, and don't forget the semicolon. Right, it's case sensitive, make sure it's small d, do while loop, because every variable is unique. So if we call this meals, we have to change it to meal 2, and this is a meal 2, and this is a meal 2, and this is a meal 2. So we won't have the same variables. So for the second block of PHP, so I will change meals to meal 2 here, meals to here, and meals to here, and meals to here. I'm going to basically run it again. So I will just refresh the page. So as you can see, using the do while loop, you can still see the same result. It's just that the sequence when you use the while statement is different. So the difference is it will run 1 time. Of course, we will have the starting, the initialization statement, and then followed by the incremental statement and the conditional statement at the back. It's just the sequence of the 3 conditions are different. Alright, let's go to for loop. So as for this sessions, before the body tag is closed, I'm going to add a line, a horizontal line, and going to space out after the horizontal line, And this round I will add another H1 and with the title for loop. And I'm going to space out more for my PHP code block, PHP, and end with question mark bracket, and I'm going to space them out so that I can put in the code. So in this PHP block, I'm going to add a for loop, for bracket, a round bracket, and then followed by curly brackets. So the conditions is happen in the round bracket here. So I will start with variable $, okay, meals 3, another variable, and initialization will start with 0, alright, and semicolon, and alright, when meals 3 less than 5, after you loop 5 times it will stop, and also incremental statements, meals 3 plus plus. So same things for for loops, we have 3 statements. Initialization, start with what number, and the conditional, where should I stop. So if after you loop 5 times, okay, you stop. And the incremental statement means that every time I add 1 to the number. So, and inside the curly bracket, we're going to space out, and I'm going to echo. I will just copy the same echo. I have only eaten, okay, this round is meal 3. Make sure this variable same with the variables in the for loop, which is meal 3. And I'm still hungry. So we are good to save it and preview. Alright, so I have eaten, and you see we need a line break. Oops, well, we need to add the echo, semicolon, and a line break here. A line break here. Save it and preview. Alright. So basically, it will say I have eaten meals and I'm still hungry. But the difference here, because it starts with 0, so it shows no number here. So we are going to change it a bit. So we don't want to start with 0 because the 0 doesn't show here. Maybe I will start with 1. And I will end with or equals to 5. I will just save it. So what I've changed is don't use 0, use 1, and I will add the equal sign here. So means that when the number hit 5, it will stop. And I'm going to refresh so that it will show you this. Oopsie, I have a notice I have a spelling error here. So MEALS, meal 3, MELS3, alright. It should be okay. So that if you preview, so that you will have, I have only eaten this how many meals and I'm still hungry. So basically what I meant here is you are using different loop, but the result will be the same, and under 3 conditions, which is the starting, the initialization statement, and the conditional, when should I stop, when it hit 5, and the incremental statement, which is every time I add 1 plus plus. So that's for the lesson for loops. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe to my channel and like my video. Bye.